there's like some type of war out there.
Yes.
Like, yeah. I
maybe a league.
It's yeah. It could be a league out there.
Like
reminds
some
me
legends
of like
battling. I think that makes sense.
the Fields of Justice.
Yeah. I think there's gonna be like some Dragon Knights battling against like the Apex Predators and the other team.
It's true.
Yeah.
I do like their new logo with the lion on it. I was looking at that and I saw the Team Liquid one. I'm like, oh, everybody's going with the shield now. Everybody's putting an animal on the shield.
It's a crest of arms.
Yeah.
Like it makes sense to like place your emblem like on something that it could like actually sit on top of. So I think it's good sort of visualization.
Yeah. Anyway, picks and bans for the started to come through already.
So I want to point out that we should be, I believe, on 6.3. And I think that Kog'Maw is absolutely insane. However, so far we have not seen it banned, or first pick Nidalee is still the grab.
Yeah, and that could be a flex pick there. Of course, Seraph was known for playing the top lane Nidalee and going with an AD carry type build with IE Trinity Force. But Kez was always a Nidalee player. It was Elise, Evelyn. He picked up Nidalee when it was popular. We have seen Poppy from him as well.
Yeah.
So we've seen new looks for Kez in the Challenger Series this year when he wasn't always the most versatile person before.
Well, we'll see what he's able to do with this Nidalee in this game here. Apex to make their choices, and looks like no hype for the Kog'Maw. Lucian grabbed right away, the Braum as well. So this is one of the scariest bot lanes, and I do want to note in 6-3, there was the Alistar heal cooldown nerf. Alistar was before probably the #1 support, and now it's fallen enough that they'd rather steal Braum early.
Yeah, Alistar is still rather powerful.
I think
though.
he's still super good.
Yeah, they ended up changing the heal cooldown and stuff like that. So, yeah, Braum, definitely a good pickup there. We have seen it special with it before. Last week, he had a really good Alistar game and then a really bad Alistar game, where that's how Dream Team got the advantage off of the team. So he's going to go with the Braum here. He's going to go with the combination. So hopefully backing up Police here. And this actually could set up for a multiple AD carry comp. And also is actually pretty good against multiple AD carry comps.
I think both these teams can run double marksman here. You still got room for the Ezreal in the mid lane here for Apex. Corki was grabbed. Corki was also nerfed in 6-3. Most notably 20 damage off of Phosphorus Bomb at max rank. That was pretty much the only thing that mattered in that set of changes. And still totally worth grabbing early on. Now, what I am excited for is Rumble Hover here. We've started recently seeing Jungle Rumble be a thing, and it's actually pretty insane.
Yeah, it's really good with Runic Echoes. It just runs really, really quickly. The ticks that it gets on jungle camps. Also, it's got that ultimate that is really, really, really effective against multiple AD carry comps.
Yeah,
because the problem is always, how do we catch both AD carries? Well, boom, Rumble ultimate, the cast range is really big, and then you can just extend it by putting the actual length of it even further out. So if you're able to use it correctly as a jungler, which most junglers aren't because we're not very good mechanical players.
No, I understand.
But if you're
players.
Yeah, if you're a top laner who loves Rumble and you get stuck playing jungle, you now have a champion.
There's even a skin named after it. Though sadly, I have yet to see that skin used in the role. It's almost always the super mega awesome one, where he's the legendary, whatever it's called.
Yeah, the Super Galaxy Rumble.
Galaxy Rumble.
The reason people use that, though, is the auto attack animation is much smoother.
It looks better.
Because the other one is like, I don't know the windup because it goes,
you're
like hitting them with this arm, and the other one's like, whoosh, and you actually like stab them. So you can cancel it a little bit better, actually know when the animation is hit and gone off.
Well, for what it's worth, we've been talking about Rumble. Rumble's not in this game. They switched over to Rek'Sai here. This is Shrimp after all. If you saw him from last year's Challenger Series, he was a farm-heavy jungler who would split push all the time. Rek'Sai, probably his most notable champion while doing this, could use the global to get back into the team. Though, with Keen, Police, and Chris all wanting farm, I don't know how much Shrimp's going to get to do that, but maybe he'll get to play the old Shrimp style.
That's
alongside a Nautilus top for Chris, so with Chris being on a hard tank, then this team really needs damage from Keen, though. They only have 1 damage threat right now.
Yeah, he'll get counterpicked, though, so depending on what comes in here for TDK, it's most likely going to be that Corki now that the Ezreal's been locked in for OQ. So Keen will be able to answer in kind. And there's the Quinn for Seraph in the top lane. This was banned against him last week, and then I think he got his hands on it in 1 game against Liquid Academy, and then he was able to actually win that one still, but it wasn't a great performance from him.
Sure. I do want to talk about this Team Dragon Knights comp a little bit, though. So the Quinn top lane got locked in here for Seraph. I think that'll probably work well for Seraph. It feels like his type of champion, roam around, make the solo plays. However, I don't like Nidalee in this composition. With Alistar, it's okay, but you really need a front line that absorbs some punishment so that you can actually use Cougar form meaningfully as a Nidalee, and without sort of threatening frontliners, you're just kind of isolated when you jump in.
Yeah, exactly. That's kind of the Nidalee dilemma is, oh, you see the kit and you go, oh, that's going to be really great in a poke comp. But actually, a lot of her power...
The champion is Cougar.
Exactly. A lot of her power budget is jumping in and getting that execute and getting that extra damage off. So if she has somebody else who's kind of a dive buddy or another threat alongside her, Fiora, whatever, you want something that's melee and going to run in there with her. She's extraordinarily powerful in that scenario. But if you can land all the spears, then you're okay with poke.
If you can poke forever, I guess it's going to be fine. So Alistair, played by Bishu, the sole tank here. Apex finished their champion select by grabbing up the Kassadin for Keen. Kassadin into Corki in the mid lane. Again, Corki's early game got nerfed a little bit via the phosphorus bomb nerfs. This should help Keen a little bit in the laning phase, but generally speaking, it's a bit hard to play Kassadin into marksman, even magic damage marksman, because you will eventually get poked out.
Yeah, since Kassadin has such a kind of mediocre early game, you're able to just auto-attack trade him. He sits there as a melee, and you're just win the lane pretty flat right out. There is going to be an exhaust there for Ty, is what it looked like. He was hovering, so once Kassadin hits 6, it's not going to be too much of a threat to him, but he still does have to watch out. Triple AD carry, though, one person gets caught and blown up by Kassadin, that can actually snowball very quickly.
Well, we'll see if that happens here in this game, because we're going to get ourselves into the match in just a second. You guys at home are always part of the show. Tweet at LOL Esports. Use hashtag TDK win or hashtag APX win to let us know who it's going to be. But it's a battle of two teams near the very top of the standings. Apex, certainly a very, very solid squad. We'll see if they can do it still with Shrimp in the lineup. TDK, with a good mid laner finally, could really upset things, though.
Yeah, TDK want to shake it up. They've been going 1-1, and then last week when they brought in Ty, they were able to have their first 2-0 week, and that's what they expected. This was a squad that came into Challenger on TDK's side that they wanted to drop no games, like you said. They wanted to go undefeated, high expectations for themselves. The community thought that this was going to be the best team in Challenger, and then Apex goes, here's our lineup.
Yeah, here's our lineup.
2 weeks or 1 week right before Challenger starts is like, by the way, guys.
Saint posts a twit longer of a roster, and it's like, well, who needs manicured production values and everything when you can just tweet out a lineup, and it's like, oh, these are really good players. Kez does not quite kill off the trinket, couldn't walk into range in time.
Yeah, but so it's the team that had all the hype around them, TDK, coming in, being the #1 Challenger squad, against the team that's actually proven over 3 weeks to be the #1 Challenger squad here with Apex. So it's expectation versus reality right now in this game.
So here we go. As we start up the laning phase, we do have a lane swap situation. Apex sending Police and Xpecial to the top side of the map, while OQ and Bishu will be on the bottom. I want to see if they start camps, if they invade, or if they walk to lane and build a freeze. There's multiple ways to play this level 1. Top laners and junglers will be farming together, and it feels like TDK not only learned a lesson from the Immortals level 1, where they camp that tri-rush and nothing happens, but Bishu and OQ will in fact be doing Krugs. However, it will be Apex's dual lane who are going to be invading on Kez and Sarah, hoping to stop their camp. And in fact, they will do so. You can see that via that trinket ward, they're running away.
Yep.
Xpecial says, Xpecial knows.
Yep, because it turns out you're on the strong side of the map for Apex, so... Oh, he gets a steal one.
16 gold stolen, 16 more gold stolen. Oh, man. I need to tell a personal story real quick.
Hold on.
Okay. Oh, it reset. Man, they're taking so much time doing this.
Yeah, Xpecial's really wrecking them right now.
There should be no way Xpecial gets...
Just smite it.
There's a smite by Kez, but yeah, they lost a ton of time. 2 camps are already done for Apex, and they're on to the 3rd. This is a significant advantage.
Okay, what's your personal story now?
So I was playing some Janna earlier today, and I stole both Big Raptor and Red Buff from the enemy Fiddlesticks jungle at like level 7 or something.
Oh my god. Just a red buff from him?
Yeah, I stole I stole 1 small raptor, 1 big raptor, and the red buff.
Was he able to chase you with runic echoes at that point?
No, I just flashed over Rift Herald pit and walked away. I felt really good about myself. Well, Shrimp, meanwhile, can feel good about being level 3 already, now on the top side of the map. And you're going to see Chris walk over to that turret and knock that down before too long. TDK, the 3rd wave is already here, but hasn't reached the turret yet, so a bit of a slower push than normal. Shouldn't hurt them in any meaningful way. OQ, however, actually has perfect CS, I believe.
Yeah.
That's normally 19 and then +2 for doing Krugs, so OQ perfect CS plus the Krugs. Really solid mechanics by him.
Yeah, really well done there. No pressure on him in the lane swap, but he's able to pick it up. I actually think that TDK have a better push on this turret, just because they got their wave up there with a cannon minion in it intact to the turret as the next wave was coming up. So I actually think they might get it. They'll take it at about the same time and they'll be fine.
Yeah, I think turrets will end up trading close to equal. Shrimp is, of course, jungling, as is Kez, but Shrimp is getting more done. Kez taking the Gromp away, but Shrimp's able to steal away the blue buff, which is just awesome.
So Seraph's going to bounce this perfectly, and there's an extra caster minion in this wave. So that's actually a really good bounce here, whereas this one, and it's funny because even if you get to the tower first, sometimes that's necessarily worse because you don't have as many minions in your minion wave if you fast pushed it as opposed to slow push.
Yep, if you push too fast, you can really screw it up. Chris, we'll see if he shares gold with Police, and unfortunately they did too much damage to the turret, so it will... Police will get the gold before recalling, which gives him a Cull and a Longsword, but it does mean this is not an easy freeze right now, so Chris could be in danger.
But that is going to be a Cull. I actually think that's a good buy, especially when you're up against a tier Ezreal, because you aren't really getting so much pressure on you while he's ramping that up, and then you get closer to your next power spike.
Yeah, I really do like late Culls and lane swaps. We move forward. Ty versus Keen in the mid lane. This momentary CS lead is only because there's still minions on the field right now. So Keen gets the cannon, that's the important part, and is honestly holding just fine. Keen has used all 3 charges of Corrupting Potion. Ty has not, but I mean, that's what the potion's there is for getting your health back up. So I can't say it's too bad for Keen so far.
Yeah, and Keen also has TP, so he'll be able to get Catalyst TP back to lane, and then he'll be fine.
Yeah, sitting at 1,150 gold right now, so this wave will be Catalyst money if he chooses to do it on this wave. Shrimp looking to counter jungle on this bot side of the map. He knows that red buff is not up right now, but he will be on this bottom side as the lanes have swapped once again to a mirror of themselves. Apex duo lane to the bot side, TDK duo lane to the top. And once again, we're going to see 3v0 turret pushes. No, 4v0. Apex are here well in advance. I don't believe they'll get... I think the turrets will still trade equally, but it will be Apex easily killing this one first.
Yeah, they should be. Seraph is coming up to that top lane. He's been able to pick up a decent amount of farm, actually, in comparison to Chris. So there's actually pretty much CS leads across the board here for TDK, just barely, though.
Yeah, impressive stuff by them, though, to get more farm, despite how horrendous the level 1 actually was for them.
Oh,
bot lane turret goes down at 540. Top lane, though, is dangerously low as well, down below a quarter. Of course, Ezreal's W.
They're going to keep pushing bot.
Adding attack speed. But yeah, this is pre-7 minutes, so this turret still takes damage really slowly. And as you mentioned, bot lane is getting pushed in. Look at this Bishu. Says, you know, maybe I really need to recall, but he's going to stay. Turret will die. All 4 are up there, and Apex are already on the turret.
Yes, because you got to the turret faster on Apex's side, you had a minion wave building up, and you said, you know what, let's not freeze it, screw it, keep pushing it. They're not going to be able to answer in time. So now it's becoming tier 2 pushes on either side of the map because Apex got there faster, and they wanted to make an advantage appear from that.
And because of showing up first, despite the fact that you have an Ezreal and an Nidalee, who of course both give big attack speed buffs, Apex are still ahead by quite a bit, and we'll see if this equalizes at some point. They will be first to go to inhib turret if they want that, but it looks like they will choose to recall. The turrets will trade equal, and neither inhib turret will take any meaningful damage.
So they trade equal, but you have to worry about this minion wave that's sitting here because somebody's going to be able to pick this up, and if it's Chris, maybe getting a little bit of CS here. Then that'll be good for him. But no, actually, he's just going to wait on it. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Whereas the other side, they actually
pushed into inhib. It's fine. Yeah. So top lane basically all died, and bot lane pushed into the inhib turret. So equal footing here. You can look at the CS numbers, but the thing to watch really is this top scoreboard here, 11.8k for each side. We have traded 3 turrets equally, farm close enough to equal that everyone's on the same page. And we have a pretty tied game here with 6 total turrets dead already.
So how long is that pink ward going to stay there? Over, under? On...
Entire game.
10 minutes. Oh.
Over.
Over.
I think I will like straight up say entire game.
All right, we'll check back in at 17 minutes.
If he replaces it, that doesn't count, by the way.
Okay, okay.
Right, like, that I can't control, but no one will ever see that ward.
Yeah.
All right, so.
I'm going to go check whose ward it is really quick.
Oh, yeah, of course. I trust you whatever you say.
It's Kez's ward.
Okay. Kez will probably replace his pink ward at some point, so... Unfortunately, it will not survive the entire game, most likely.
But it will survive a very long time. That's a clever spot. People don't check that.
People very rarely check it. At worst, you can blue turn get it, and that'll stay up forever as well. But yeah, definitely in the game, it's a pretty safe pink ward. Nope, that one is going to leash. It ran out of patience.
Yep. Down on the top side, though, 3 members of Apex are actually going to continue to push this top side with no answer, whereas Chris is actually on this bot side to try and clear waves as Nautilus underneath a turret.
Okay, Apex, once again, though, are sooner to the turret. They are hitting much top lane tier 2, yeah, like 20 seconds in advance. Chris, though, 1v2, 1v3 maybe in the bot lane, 1v4 maybe even, is not going to be a great thing for him, so we'll see if he gets support in time. But Police and Shrimp will knock this turret down at 8:30. But again, there's so much damage at this stage of the game. People are farming kind of uninhibited. There's enough damage that this turret will die too.
Yeah, it's pretty much just a dance of turret taking right now. And guess what's eventually going to happen? Lucian's getting some damage on that inhib turret. Going to have to blow TP.
Oh, wow.
But this is Seraph picking up actually some extra CS here, so he might hit level 6 before Chris and be able to roam around the map. And with so many turrets down on both sides, this is actually pretty much free reign for Quinn to run into the enemy jungle, to run throughout your own jungle, and loop around people. It's pretty much a Quinn land at that point.
It's a really interesting situation to be in because typically as a player, you'll sort of understand like, the kind of things you can roam to, how to play your lane and whatnot, but very rarely are you in a situation where neither side lane has any turrets at all, which vastly changes the types of plays you can make and can't make. And I want to know who's actually able to play around the situation better because, again, we've traded equally. These teams have the same amount of gold for all intents and purposes. And now it's up to how you play this sort of fairly unique situation.
Yeah, and then another thing on top of it is because it's so early, nobody's level 9, you're not able to get the blue trinket, so you can't even ward up your own jungle and try to keep those wards in there for a long time. But Keen, he does have Rift Walk, and he's going to get out of there. But once again, after those side turrets get taken, it becomes Seraph pushes top lane as Quinn over and over and over again, and then he'll ultimate and try to run into this mid fight if they try to beat it. That's what's going to happen. Side wave pressure, keep going mid, ARAM it.
Totally agree. I think it's definitely advantage Seraph because of this Quinn pick right here, and we'll see just how much TDK can get out of this.
For the next few minutes, though, it is actually advantage Chris because of TP, and Seraph doesn't have it, but eventually it gets to that point, and especially when he gets Yomu's, too.
Got it. All right, well, we'll see if that teleport gets used anytime in the near future. Seraph still has about 3 minutes to go on that cooldown. Mid lane is getting ARAM'd up pretty hard, and guess what? The team with Ezreal, Nidalee, and Corki tends to be better at ARAM.
Yep, it's pretty much a better Siege team. Also, the wave clear of Apex is being tested because they have Kassadin, very low wave clear on this team.
Right. Well, Kaz is going to roam up to the top lane here. We'll square off against Seraph before too long. Kez, though, this is not good for Shrimp. Nice smite, gets away, and only loses a small part of the red buff. Did not clear away the pink ward, but he did ping it. They know it's there. Oki getting hit up by the Cully, especially putting up the shield to block off some turret damage, and that will stay afloat. Good job by Shrimp as well as Keen to roam up there to keep that red buff safe during that siege, so very smart by them. Ty just flies away from the dragon. Rift Herald will go to TDK as well, so TDK having the better push, getting more damage in the mid lane, and actually just getting more done around the map right now.
Yeah, I assume this is going to Seraph.
Yeah.
Okay, yep. So they're going to give it to Seraph. He's going to have the empowered recall. He'll be able to run wherever he wants to go. And it's most likely to that top lane again, catch some farm. It's pushed out again by Keen.
Yep, empowered recall gives him the movement speed as he gets out of the base right now, also in bird form, and looks like he'll be heading up to that top side of the map after all. Dragon is up, and once again, a teleportless Quinn is top lane. This is something that Apex could time very easily and simply make a play for Dragon. I don't think it would be too hard to get it. TP advantage is a pretty big deal, and you're not exactly going to be threatening any turret damage anyway, since Tier 1 and Tier 2 are gone in those lanes.
And now Chris versus Seraph in this top lane.
Wants to make a play.
It gets very rough for Quinn. Quinn against an armor stacker is pretty much Quinn's nightmare. No Yomu's just yet. You'll be able to do some damage, and you'll be able to test and basically be like, okay, how much damage do I do to Chris? And once Chris figures out that he might have kill potential, it becomes very scary because the Nautilus can actually kill you.
Yep. Looks like Seraph is kind of letting Chris know he has kill potential. Chris, is clearing the way, but Seraph playing incredibly far back, despite the Rift Herald buff, giving him a lot of extra damage. Yeah. Playing very respectfully right now.
Yeah, that might be the breaking point between the two of them.
Nice snipe by Kez. Chunks down the Rift Herald, so thank you very much. Both Heralds, Rift Scuttler, both controlled by TDK right now thanks to Kez's efforts. Pushing Shrimp out of the map right now. TDK right now having a very small gold lead for themselves off the farm.
And as this game goes on, it's going to become a very interesting dynamic where Keen has enough damage to actually threaten all three of these marksmen, but the marksmen will take turrets so quickly, and they'll have a much better sieging composition. So the items as they come out, the Trinity Force now for Ty, as well as the Iceborne Gauntlet for OQ, they now have the Kite, and they also have the Siege. So this is getting very scary for TDK right now, because TDK is hitting those power spikes.
Yeah.
So Apex, later on, will have more kind of spikes in their favor, but then TDK is still equal.
How do you kill a 40-minute Nautilus composition?
Yeah. It becomes very, very difficult to do so.
So something to watch for sure. Kassadin, of course, very scary against all the squishes as well, and we'll see what happens as time moves on. Gold roughly equal. It's going to spike up in Apex's favor soon because of the Cull getting all of its CS. That'll be a 350 gold swing that is just going to show up, and it'll look like Apex did something amazing when really all they did was just buy a good item. Yeah,
I'm actually interested. He's got 6 more left on that.
Yeah, it's this wave. Unless he like heavily misplays. And he's missed some of the CS, so now he actually won't get at this wave because he missed the minions and then Shrimp took one. And now he's going to get it. I didn't actually know this, but apparently it seems that Cull stacks get consumed on relic shield hits from your teammate. I believe his Cull ticked down from Braum left hitting something. I actually didn't know that.
Well, that would make sense. It counts as a CS for both of you guys.
Yeah. All right, well, this is going to be the wave. One more CS to do it. Apex, gold lead. Ha! Oh. 200, 300 gold up for Apex. Glorious play by Police.
He's sitting up 700 gold now over OQ.
Yep.
So the Cull actually paid. There should have been more Culls in this game.
Yeah, when it plays this slowly, mid laners buy it. Screw it.
Yeah.
Stacking up Rod of Ages. Yeah, I mean, this you mentioned again that the timing of when the power spikes come in. I mean, this is TDK's time to shine. Rod of Ages still stacking up. Cull just now, stacked, but hasn't spent the gold just yet. 2 minutes from now, Apex feels a whole lot better. TDK just really not getting a lot done.
Yeah, I'm worried about this Quinn too, because Quinn is a feast or famine champion, and usually in one-on-one lanes against things like Gangplank and Fiora, you get a gank and then the lane is completely over for the other person, and then Quinn is fine. This though, when Quinn is basically trying to work towards that Youmu's and it's taking a very long time, and they're able to get some armor, they're able to get some HP, you don't become that gigantic burst carry in the top lane that you wish you were. You eventually become this mild, sustained fighter when you get your Sterix and you get your Hexdrinker into Maw. But Seraph is going to have to play this a little bit differently, and I saw his last Quinn game. It wasn't, it kind of felt like he had to adjust to the fact that he wasn't fed.
Absolutely true, and we'll see if he can make that adaptation here in this game.
It's gone! He placed a new one.
Yeah, Kez placed a new one. So I was right. No one found it.
Took a long time, though.
Yep.
8 minutes.
Yep.
Definitely worth the 75 gold.
Yeah, it helped them know who was walking in to catch the wave's top lane, and TDK could play around that information. Dragon does finally go over to Apex, and it was actually just off them recalling and finishing Essence Reaver on Police and Keen having more stacks and having a needlessly large rod. So still no kills in this game 16 minutes in. Many wards have lost their lives, as well as many turrets here, but otherwise pretty low impact game.
Yep, I assume that this is going to be a Rift Herald shortly after top lane gets shoved out by Seraph, possibly calling Kez up to it. They have control of the Rift Scuddler, and then they also have pink wards in the area, so I would be surprised if they didn't do this, especially since TDK puts a decent amount of emphasis on it.
Yeah, absolutely. They grabbed it pretty early on, just not long ago, so
TDK is kind of what the designers intended. They're just like, yeah, if your top laner is a really good player, and they do something on the opposite side of the map, you should give him Rift Herald.
Yeah. Well, Seraph had Rift Herald, but he hasn't done a whole lot with it. He's up 7 CS over Chris right now, but that means basically nothing. That matchup is just going equal. Seraph will get the second Herald buff. Not a surprise here. He's going to play for ward control. Now, the mid lane is the sort of the battleground here. Again, there's no turrets to kill, and Dragon and Herald off the map means the only objective in play is the mid lane outer turret for both these teams. And Apex just pushing down through the mid lane, and this bottom jungler choosing to take away jungle camps as a small incremental advantage.
Yep.
But it really hasn't meant much. Despite the 450 free gold from Cull, Apex are once again down in gold against TDK here. And of course, Rift Herald being 500 gold because it's been killed twice. I should go back and correct what I meant by that. Cull was basically paid for 2 Rift Heralds.
True. Very true. Seraph looking with the increased movement speed to find something. Back to the ARM. If they can knock down... So if TDK knock down this turret with their composition, which they very easily can if they just keep sieging, then they'll actually solidify themselves a very tangible lead that's about 1,000 gold.
Yeah. See if they can get much more. Ward put in the lane. Ooh, this is all lots of good things then at once. Lots of flying marksmen that can dive into the back line to try to pick things off. Apex has to be respectful here. They've pulled Chris in from the top lane. Cullen used on most of these minions. They'll kill the rest of these away pretty easily. And look at the status of the side lanes. Bot lane is going to push in towards the blue team. Top lane's going to push in towards them as well, but it means that Seraph gets to walk up and grab free gold.
Chris ended up getting a hook on OQ as he used the Arcane Shift, so he was perfectly fine.
Solid Arcane Shift out, good reflexes.
Back to the wave. Ooh.
Smart by Special, saves the wave, jumping in time. Really, really nice play, and now that actually might hurt TDK a fair bit. They've got to use Corki to wave clear.
Oh, this game is really good.
And they're fine.
This is a really good game. I'm loving it so far. Now it's this trying to rotate up to this top lane, trying to cut off Seraph. If you can stop Seraph from actually getting into his behind enemy lines, then you'll be able to catch him. But no, he's got the empowered recall. He just backs. Chris wants to pick up the CS. It's still just this. It's this game where nobody wants to give the other team even an inch. So you have to keep matching them. You can't even go, oh, well, we'll eventually get a foot off of this. But they're all saying, no, no, nobody gets an inch.
Yeah.
Exactly even.
And at this point now, you realize that there's so much money on both sides. They've got so many items that, you know, a misstep will get you killed. It's sort of what like a level 5 fight would have been, where it would require like everyone's cooldowns and everyone's flashes. Now just a misstep will get you killed. Of course, Alistar and Nautilus and Rek'Sai are all great team fight starters, so if you overstep, they will catch you out. Slowly but surely, OQ seems to try to eke advantages.
Yeah, OQ's about 50 mana away from actually converting his Mura mana.
Pretty early, sub 20 minutes. Tear off the first back. Police sadly crit the caster minion, so he missed one of the CS down there, but he is looking like the first player to reach 200 minions in this game. Special with his Eye of the Equinox. Scumbag Police denied all the... Like, he's going to run up to top lane anyway. Just let him get the CS.
Oh, look at that. Already a Hex Drinker for OQ, third item against the Kassadin. Very, very smart here. I think that the Hex Drinker should come in here for Ty as well. So all three marksmen are going to have a Hex Drinker and some magic resistance to deal with Keen, to make sure that Keen's pretty much the win condition here. If he kills any of these AD carries, you can really just run over the rest of the team. So Chris will help you pick. Keen is going to be diving, trying to set up his team appropriately.
You're absolutely right. Keen could almost single-handedly win this game. But if you stack MR and get Hex Drinker, it's going to be a lot harder to do. But we'll see what he can do in this matchup. Down a bit of CS, it's kind of hard to get all the farm and cast him when everyone's in your lane. So that's a bit understandable, but he's been sent off to split push for a fair bit of this, and you can see that Keen and Chris are still the highest level players on the team by being given solo lane so much. Interesting choice. Police went for actually a static Shiv here in this one.
Wave clear.
Yeah, it's a lot of wave clear and it's a lot of damage as well. I think it is a quite good item.
Yeah, it was buffed in 6.2, I believe. And we haven't seen it too much, but because you have a Kassadin in this composition, you need to compensate. So that's what the static Shiv is for, is actually clearing out these caster minions.
Ooh, managed to crit both attacks on OQ. Decent damage done there. Shrimp still waiting around in the wings. Only one CS behind Kez. And Shrimp actually did go for Chilling Smite, but then bought a Sight Stone. Kez just simply went for Tracker's Knife and went for Rod of Ages, so accelerating his build a bit more for combat stats.
Well, Rod of Ages seems like a great buy in
this game. I'd buy 6.
You'd have enough time
on Lucian.
Yep.
Just that W poke, man.
Chris going back to the top lane. He has his TP, so he's going to clear out waves, cause side wave pressure. And now this is like, it's so hard to get these middle turrets.
That Dark Seal buy by Keen is really doing a lot here.
Oh yeah. 0 stacks.
I almost want Police to like buy a second call.
Worth it. Oh man.
Just like, you know what, guys? We've all been here. We know what this is. Let me just get another one of these. So TDK though, holding map control and getting their first dragon as well.
Buying a new Cole and then eventually selling it 100 CS later just gives you 180 more gold.
Yeah. So not the biggest and best investment.
I mean,
it's not like you're like a
everybody
1980s Apple investor.
Oh man. But if everybody bought the Cole, you could get like 1,000 gold bump.
Yeah, that's so not worth it. It's so funny, like, looking at, like, after watching so many competitive games and seeing the gold all the time and looking at the leads, like, I look at my old solo queue games or whatever, like I look at the post-game histories occasionally and like look at the gold chart and been like, yeah, that 3-0 Nidalee or whatever is like, that's a 1,200 gold lead. Yep. No one cares about 1,200 gold in 20 minutes. That means basically nothing. In the game, you're like, oh my god, Nidalee's 3-0, we're so screwed. But it actually doesn't mean that much in the grand scheme of things.
Yeah, it's usually relative to how much gold everybody else has. And if you has a 1,200 gold lead over your jungler, and then he meets that jungler.
Yeah, that jungler's dead.
Yeah. But sometimes, like, when you see gold leads like this, it's like, oh, the supports have a little bit more Rift Herald gold and stuff like that. But right now, I actually think the lead is mostly CS in that mid lane.
Yeah, everyone else is holding equal. So CS slowly getting dropped here. Shrimp taking a fair bit of damage, but is rather tanky. It is Cinder Hulk Rek'Sai after all. I do want to touch on the static ship buy again by Police there real quick, because we just saw an instance where Rapid Fire Cannon would have allowed him to attack the mid lane turret. Again, you mentioned it was for wave clear. He picked the defensive Zeal option. If he had gone for Rapid Fire, he would have the ability to siege turrets down. So Apex, even in their item builds, are choosing to play a more defensive game when given the option. Small
Flash is used everywhere
for us here in the spectating room, but we're okay. Game is still underway as normal. Knockdown. I mean, Apex are trying really hard to counter as much as they can, and we're constantly seeing Shrimp down to this side of the map, but it is still TDK who have out-farmed in this game.
Yeah. You can see actually how clean both of these teams' macro play is, that they're both going, because normally, like, if you played against another squad in Challenger and you tried to do this, one of them would probably mess up.
Yeah.
Probably mess up at some point during the lane swap. They'd probably panic about who should go where. But TDK and Apex are both testing each other, and they're both meeting every single test.
Yeah.
So right now,
it makes me wonder how many missed opportunities there were, though.
There are some. There are some.
I guarantee, like, if SKT were one of these teams, it'd be like 10-0.
So the opportunities here are actually kind of hard to measure.
Yes, they are.
Because Keen has TP, so if you go on Chris and Seraph tries to check Chris, it can turn into a 2-on-1 very quickly.
Absolutely.
Yeah, there's always that problem there. But a lot of these opportunities that are missed are mostly like Ty with a package moving around faster than the enemy.
Yeah.
Seraph moving around faster, isolating somebody. If they were both able to move and like jump on Chris and try to kill him before he could get reinforcement from Keen, then it would be a good fight. But now it's sieging and trying to knock down the turret. There's the TP from behind.
Okay.
It's just Keen. He's trying to get a flank on this back line.
He's going to get spotted by this pink ward right here. So now Keen is spotted. And Quinn knows he's there. Seraph is around the wing.
Oh, but we were baited. No action in this game just yet.
Now the Phreak getting jumped on. I think, well, I mean, I guess Keen has Riftbox. There's no like easy way to kill him. But TP is used. Red buff is stolen away. As ult will not land on anything meaningful. And another buff steal goes over to Apex, but they are down 800 gold just in the slow farm game here.
Now Maw completed on Seraph. I assume the Asterix is going to be his third item, possibly Rapid Fire Cannon. We see mixtures of different things. And Ty going for the IE. No Sork shoes just yet. But now that the TP is down for Keen, it becomes much riskier to make a cross-map play for Apex. So Keen going to side lanes is going to be much riskier, like I said before.
Yeah.
But I don't know if we're going to see it. I don't know if they'll actually keep making him do that.
Seraph missed cannon.
Yeah. Yeah, also the risky thing here with like Seraph checking Chris's resistances and like checking other people's resistances, if you check it and then you make the enemy realize, oh, he can't kill me.
Yeah.
I'll kill this squishy Quinn.
You would hope at this level of play that like you don't need to bluff how strong you are.
Well, sometimes
people are wrong. I mean,
yeah, you do have to sit there and go, okay, well, how strong is this guy really compared to me?
Bijou finally getting shut down. This is probably all the champion damage that's ever been done in this game was in those few seconds.
I want to see damage to champions after this game. It's going to be ridiculous.
There'll actually be a fair amount from Ty and OQ, but yeah, it's like this is going to be like a 12 damage per minute game from everybody. It's going to be interesting. Or actually the opposite, as we've seen so far in this matchup, but oh, as ult tags Chris. He can't even feel it.
Okay, like right now, because you know Keen doesn't have TP, you could rush mid and take this turret with Bijou
with
diving.
Top lane.
Like Bijou can even just dive from behind, put his ultimate on, and like headbutt police into the team.
No, absolutely agree. Right now, Keen being top is a surefire sign that TDK can just do things. And instead, they push the mid wave in and say, nah, we're cool. It's chill. And Kess is like the most passive shot caller I've seen in a while, right?
True.
This guy says, no, we don't have to fight this. We don't have to do this. And he just believes that their late game is better.
Yep.
And to be fair, they might be right. Like, it's not like Nautilus is a Rammus, where like he'll actually kill you and like make you die to his Thornmail. It's not like he's Someday or something. So, you know, Nautilus, one of the more killable tanks. So I go back to what I said like 20 minutes ago about Nautilus being hard to kill.
He is kind of hard to kill, though. The percent HP that he gets from his W.
I mean, yeah, he's durable, right? But like, this isn't Malphite.
He's durable. He's not going to kill you, though.
Yeah. So, and then also like, all 3 marksmen on TDK are good with Hexdrinker, so Keen's not going to kill them. And then it's Police, a short-ranged AD carry. That's going to be hard to win.
So instead of contesting this Dragon, because it can be very hard, you should be pushing that mid wave if you're TDK.
Yeah, TDK have an open shot at mid lane outer. They kept Seraph in that lane. They're going to move the rest of the team up there right now. Looks like that will be going down. Apex going to go through the choke. That is incredibly risky. They could be cut off. This is the fight you go for.
Oh, man. This is just like
and the hook hits OQ. Arcane shifts out, stays alive.
Oh.
Chris down to half.
Bishu had to use his flash to retreat. But right there, you're like, that looks like a 5-man pulverize right there.
Yeah.
But no, doesn't go for it, doesn't headbutt pulverize or attempt it. Instead, TDK, they get that turret, they get the 1 turret advantage, but they trade for Dragon 2, which is now a burn effect onto turrets. So Apex will now be able to, when they reach turrets, get some damage on them.
Did you know that burn is magic damage?
Yeah, I did, because I was hitting a turret one time and I was like, wait, that's not red buff true damage.
Nope. Yeah, it's purple, which means it is affected by backdoor bonus.
Yep.
So you can't like tag it and be like, ha, 500 damage. Like, no, that was 12. I do not know how it stacks with teammates, actually.
I would only see my own.
Yeah, I have, and of course you can't see their numbers, and if they're hitting it, like the numbers go down too fast, so. That is one thing I don't know, but it does do some meaningful damage. If you ever get some poke in that turret, it starts to tick down. Well, Apex have lost their mid lane outer turret, but they're up a Dragon, which means they can maybe get one back before too long. Sarah split into the bottom lane is going, we assume, rapid fire cannon. Could be Shiv, I suppose, but is delaying the Sterix or Cleaver or whatever you might buy.
I assume it's rapid fire cannon as a Quinn player. That's what I usually go for.
Yeah.
Her range is okay, but also this makes it so that you can burst. It's got that upfront damage that you get if you jump onto Police, if you jump onto Keen, you can actually chunk them out. It's a good little combo.
Definitely agree. Yep. Kez, fully stacked Grow, Abyssal Scepter in as well. Void Staff may likely be next year for this Nidalee. Increase her damage to these tanks. Locket's done for both supports, and looks like the beginnings of Frozen Heart, I think, for Special, but maybe more likely to be Zeke's for Bishu. Could be the same, honestly. Glacial Shroud goes into both.
Yeah, I actually don't know. I think a Frozen Heart would be a good purchase.
Frozen Heart's definitely good against TDK. It's triple marksman, and then even Nidalee cares some about attack speed.
Ooh, Phantom Dancer for Seraph.
Oh, interesting. Yeah, so Phantom Dancer got buffed, and I believe it was 6-3 that I got buffed in. It's actually
cost down, yeah.
Yeah, so it now costs less than the other, like, Hurricane Shiv rapid fire cannon. Still gives a ton of stats, and good luck dueling that champion. Seraph's gonna split push all game. How you gonna, like, you're already Nautilus.
Yeah, I think that actually happened in 6-2, but we never saw it.
Yeah, no one went for it yet. But yeah, that nice and Special is really on point of these shields, though.
He's protecting minion waves.
Yeah, he's protecting minion waves, sometimes even Chris, but like, legitimately, like, the reflexes on that, that's pretty solid. That's good play by Special. He's, for a game that's gone on for 32 minutes without a kill, he's still remaining quite sharp.
I think what's going on right now is Apex are saying, all right, we've hit our power spikes. It's a 3-item plus boots, Kassadin. Let's just bait the Baron. Let's just keep vision control over the Baron, assert our dominance. They have to face check into a Nautilus, into a Kassadin, a Braum who holds choke points extraordinarily well. So TDK have to play very intelligently around these situations that Apex are going to start to set up.
And keep in mind, only Bishu can face check. And if he face checks wrong, he has to burn his ultimate. And then round 2 happens, then no one on the team can face check.
TP from behind.
Here comes the play. Here
Double
comes
TP.
Everybody. The Nautilus knockup comes in. It finds Ty. There's the burst, and there's first blood for Keen. Finally, the fight continues. Police goes down, and the battle continues on. A double kill for Keen. He can run through the back line, running low on health, low on mana as well. Zonya's popped by the Kassadin, taking a big chunk of damage, headbutted in, and OQ gets the kill. All said and done, a 3-for-2 to Apex.
So close, though. Apex, they're going to be able to pick up this turret. They have that burn. OQ skirting the line.
Oh,
Ew!
That one he missed.
So close. But now, Gold still dead even right now.
Yeah, I mean, TDK were winning the farm game by a whole lot leading up to this, so +1 kill and +1 frag.
Insane fight. They jump right after Ty. Ultimate from Nautilus, ultimate from Special, and he's gone. Seraph now kiting away. They have the burn. Boom, there goes Police. And now OQ's kiting back, and Keen's last Rift Walk is actually a little bit questionable. Keen's fine. He has He has a special blocking for him, and boom, he gets, oh wait, no, he gets headbutted in from Bishu, so they didn't actually protect him from Bishu. Gotcha. So Bishu just stayed there and sacrificed his life for taking out Keem, which is actually definitely worth it there. So
definitely worth it.
Good move by Bishu. I didn't see it the first time.
Yeah, headbutted in, got him killed off, just barely did enough damage. OQ's W, despite the Cassid and Q shield, actually did enough damage to kill him off.
Very final hit there.
Well, back into a tied game here. Apex definitely show that they are able to win fights. They burned a lot of flashes in order to get in, including Shrimp, who flashed with a knockup to combo off of the Nautilus ulti.
Yeah, TDK, they had package available, and Ty didn't pick it up before then. He's picking it up now, so they may be looking for a fight with all of these summoner spell cooldowns down, because there's no flashes to help them reach your backline. So I think this might be, if you position correctly, one of the best times for TDK to take a fight, because Bishu has his flash, and he can make a play. Yeah,
when you consider that all the marksmen on TDK have some decent escape tools, flashes are better for Apex as ways of sticking to their opponents here. So
yeah, you can't flash knockup as
right, exactly.
Rek'Sai, you're kiteable.
Exactly. So a summoner spell list landscape is a better landscape for TDK, but that time is of course ticking down slowly. The flash is now down to 2.5 to 2 minutes left before Apex has these things back. Dragon has just spawned this second, and Apex can go for their third, giving them some bonus move speed, which would be quite nice considering it's a bunch of melee champions that have to close the gap. In fact, Police, the only ranged champion on the roster, I kind of realize now that it's very melee heavy, but once they get in, they kind of stay in.
Not a Baron call for TDK. Riftscuttler is down, walking into the pit there, and I think that's also package timing out. So Ty no longer has the package. Playmaking potential goes down a little bit here, but still an even game in kills. Everybody's just playing around the map, trying to just chip away, and there actually has been no real improvement in either team's position for a very long time.
Yep.
The game is now 35 minutes in, and it's just as if we had loaded in at 1 minute, or 0 minutes, and everybody just has items now.
Yeah, at least there's a lot of turrets dead, so the map itself is deformed somewhat. Yeah. Apex, I think, will in fact wait for summoner spell cooldowns, though. This is optimal, I believe, for them to wait that next minute and a half for those cooldowns. I think it's really important. They got the Dragon anyway without having to contest anything for it. Without flashes, they got the Dragon anyway.
Ooh, Shrimp looks like he's going for his favorite in Black Cleaver. I disagree, but I know he loves it.
Randuin's would be a pretty big deal against his team, wouldn't it?
Yeah. Randuin's, Thornmail. Randuin's got buff, right? Drop Portal is enabled on Tournament Realm.
Yep. Alright, slowly but surely, Chris pushing it down the waves, going for what I believe is Thornmail next. I guess it could be Deadman's Plate, but Chain Vest only builds into so many things here. And it's pretty hard to make Drop Portal do much against a Quinn, who is happy to sit in the lane and push it out and then kill your structure, then just ulti back into a wave. Sterix is next up for Seraph now. He's got the Jarum's Fist. It could be Black Cleaver, I suppose. Wouldn't actually be the worst idea. Actually, it doesn't build from that anymore.
Goes into Titanic.
Yeah. It's yeah. Cleaver is what? Caulfield's and
Phage.
Oh yeah, Phage. Sorry, that's the one. My brain didn't work for a second there.
It's okay. You're an AD carry player. You barely ever.
I no longer have to play solo lane. It's great. I just got to forget about half the items in the game.
Yeah, you just queue bot support,
which is not good for me as a commentator, by the way. Like, I have two different goals. Do I gain elo and just play Janna every game I don't get AD carry? Or do I continue to learn more about the game, which is what normals are for?
Speaking about learning more about the game, that's going to be a Baron.
That's going to be a really fast attempt at Baron. Apex, though, learned that TDK are en route, and they're going to have to back up. Q nearly hits from Chris. Javelin can do a bit of damage to the shields. Apex still walking forward, but how are you going to walk forward through Blue Ezreal and Corky Poke? Quid has already pushed up the mid lane, so the way into Tier 2 is almost here. Minions are gone, the new wave coming up. Ezreal comes by.
This is going to be turret damage. They have the inside track on TDK side, and you can't go through that choke point. So that's going to be some decent turret damage here.
Over the wall, Kez taking a bit of damage down below half HP is mid lane Tier 2 turret. Good play by TDK to keep the wave pushed up while also checking the Baron.
I think this gives TDK a lot of confidence. You saw how much you were able to chunk out Chris. He's not as tanky as you may have thought he was.
Sure.
So now, with this siege, you get to continue to poke him out. I think this will give TDK some confidence.
Absolutely. Chris has spent multiple thousands of gold on non-combat stats, sorry, non-durability stats. Distortion Enchant Swifties, Iceborne Gauntlet instead of just Glacial Shroud and a Frozen Heart or something like that. So you know, he is less tanky per gold than someone who is focusing, you know, more dedicatedly on the build.
Yeah, pretty insane.
Thornmail's a big deal. That's going to help a lot. But again, he's just got a slightly lower pool of health to work from than someone who would build in a more dedicated fashion. Not that it's wrong.
Yeah.
But that he is, in fact, a bit squishier.
So Bishu finished his Frozen Heart, not as squishy, but Special went for a Giant Spell.
But Randuin's.
Towards Randuin's as opposed to the Frozen Heart.
Well, Randuin's is better now.
True.
Costs a bit less gold, has a bit more health.
Everybody has crit out of the AD carries.
Yeah. Actually, no, not on OQ. He has no crit item.
Oh, yeah.
But it's still, I mean, it's still an attack speed slow on hit, still a lot of stats, and it's AoE slow to help stick to the enemy team afterwards. Like, it is a very, very good selfish defensive item. I do think this team needs a Frozen Heart. I'm a little bit shocked we still don't have one when there's 2 good and 1 okay Frozen Heart buyer on Apex. I think that's actually a misplay on itemization.
God, this game is a great example of you sit there and you go, okay, what's going to change that makes the player's behavior change? Because right now it's farm the wave, go mid. Farm the wave, go mid. Go back top, back top, back top, over and over and over again. And it's eventually just going to be these dragons.
Yep. It's going to be Dragon Force spawning in 1 minute and 8 seconds, which will now give turret damage reduction squad-wide. Nearly hits Bishu with that one. And then it will also be Dragon 5 coming in 7 minutes, and that will allow Apex to poke everything down and make life really good. Scuttle once again taken down, goes to Shrimp here. Ruby Sightstone actually picked up because of slot efficiency reasons and getting more wards available as he runs around the map. Apex can continue to litter this map with wards. Both of their Sightstones have 4 charges on them, especially by getting all the way to Eye the Equinox, and of course Ruby Sightstone doing the same for Shrimp. Oh. And another Baron attempt's going to come in here for Apex.
Yep, Last Whisper for OQ already, so now they get to push forward. They don't see this just yet.
They had blue triggered it and it got swept, but it's going down so incredibly fast. Special put up the shield and block the team. There it goes. Baron Nashor taken down for Apex with no contest. TDK too late.
It's still even in gold, though.
Yep.
just equalized it again.
It's a 40 CS lead in the top lane here for Seraph. He's just been able to get minion waves more easily because he's faster.
But now they have combat stats for this dragon, so they effectively have more gold in their pockets in a way.
Apex in a really good spot to get Dragon number 4, and they can just use, again, the turret damage reduction and the Baron buff to make some real things happen. And how is TDK going to actually... Oh! That was close. He blocked True Shot Barrage, but not the Javelin, but Shrimp took it, and the Runic Echo's bounce did not kill it away.
Why play against your opponents when you can play the map?
Mm-hmm.
That's what both teams are thinking.
It's like they went into adventure mode. All right, Apex. They are in the driver's seat, I think, for sure at this point.
Yeah, for a little bit longer. Ty, though, he is going to have the package. If TDK makes a play because they have the package, but Apex has Baron buff, I'm going to go insane. Because you should have made that play earlier.
Nope. Shrimp does not see TDK waiting in that brush. They're smart to stand still. Kez now reveals, and the team says, nope, not going to happen here. The team grouped up together. Chris and Keen do have teleports up, so they can safely split push. They can honestly get away from almost anything. The engage from TDK kind of sucks.
Yeah, it's hard to get in there. You really have Alistar, and then you also have the Corki package, which is still on for right now.
Yeah.
But these minions are very tanky. They're going to get some turret damage here from Apex's
really
side.
Defensive by Police. There's so few things that can actually scare him here, but Bishu being on the screen is enough for him to run away and not really deal any meaningful damage.
They're just going to poke this out. Chris can pretty much tank the turret by himself.
Just look at how Police plays. Anytime Bishu's in 1,000 range, like literally flash headbutt pulverize range.
Oh, he's cutting the wave.
Out. Nice play by Seraph. Cuts the wave off. Beautiful stuff right here. But has to respect the fact that he might get caught out here. Pops.
Oh, TP.
Teleport to get out. They will know that cooldown's missing.
Now they're going to go straight back to middle. All this armor on Chris, and the fact they have the 4th dragon, he doesn't take any damage from this. Look at it. It's
literally just
healing
taking shots for no reason, and it doesn't actually matter. Turret will go down. Nicely done. Apex pick up their 6th turret of the game. They had gotten 4 8 minutes in, and now they've got 6 35 minutes later.
And that's usually what happens when you get those turrets early and people don't have the vision to adequately ward up and press an advantage. So both teams just sat there with wide open jungles. but it's so risky to go in there because the mid turret's still up, and then the other team can just rotate between mid and that lane much faster than you and your team can. So it becomes very hard to siege. But this game has been very, very slow-paced. You know, people are hitting their 6 items hard.
Yep. QSS is now here for Police, who did go Maw of Malmortius, which is, I think, a little strange, because I think his primary threat is actually Quinn more so than Nidalee. I would actually much rather like to see him have a way to break through.
He'll take like a little bit less Corki damage, and then then he'll get to the point where if that shield pops, he gets all that vamp and stuff. I don't know. There's
not like a lot of amazing options here.
There's a better damage dealing item, but there is 10 flat armor pen on it,
which means so little at this stage of the game.
But how much armor does Quinn have?
Ruin King would be much more DPS as an item, and still actually provide some survivability.
True.
Again, Ma will help not get one shot, so
we're seeing potions out here already. Elixir of Wrath for Seraph, Iron for Chris, Iron for Special.
Now, will Chris be going Ohm Wrecker or Zerat Portal? I would say Ohm Wrecker is better here.
Oh, so you can dive?
Yeah, like, Zerat is not going to help you against TDK, right? It's a bunch of really easy, like, strong auto-attackers that will crush the minion wave.
It also gives you movement speed by turrets, so the Raptor Cloak's super good by itself, too.
The Raptor Cloak by itself was actually decent pickup, but, like, Ohm Wrecker will actually be useful.
I think they both be useful.
He will not buy it, because no one buys Ohm Wrecker. But it would actually be a decent buy in this exact situation.
There's Randuin's in for a special. Going to be very hard to kill. And then, because the timer went on so long, it now becomes the question of how does TDK kill all these tanks?
Yeah. And the thing is, these triple marksmen, as I keep flip-flopping back and forth on whether or not they can kill Nautilus, only one of them built any meaningful crit damage, right? Seraph is a no % armor pen, no crit. Well, okay, he's a Phantom Dancer, and he's now getting his Infinity Edge or Bloodthirster, and if he goes Bloodthirster, he will never kill this Nautilus. The problem is he thinks he needs lifesteal because he has a Thornmail. Ezreal is just doing blue build, and at least he has Lord Dominic's Regards and a Ruin King, so he has some level of like decent tank damage, but Corki's the only one with an Infinity Edge.
He's about to go Void Staff 2 on Corki's side. So he has the magic penetration.
Yeah, that's the right choice as far as sort of 6 items go on Corki.
So we have 1 minute until 5th Dragon Threat for Apex.
Yep.
So the beauty about League of Legends
TDK has to do something about this.
Is that eventually somebody has to do something.
Special steals the blue buff. He was trying to help. He pressed Q, and there was too much damage from the rest of Apex.
Yep. And Seraph steals the other blue buff across the map.
I think it's actually less useful on Seraph than it is on Special. I think Apex won that trade.
Really?
Well, hold on. How much CDR does... Special has 30 CDR on items? Yeah. Yeah, he should be at 40 CDR now because of this, or 45, depending on... No, 40, because he went, for sure, Bond of Stone.
All right. Setting up for this, though, we see Elixirs coming through, Iron on Shrimp. Everybody pretty much potting up for this one fight here. 10 seconds on this Dragon spawn. The setup to this fight is going to be so important. I don't think there's a package here for Ty either. No, there's not. These might be the items that end the game of this next fight.
This should be the fight that means everything unless TDK can steal the Dragon. Apex posturing around this side of the river. 47 minutes in, 3 kills to 2.
Chris is pretty much a walking turret. He's at, no, yeah, I take that back. He's stronger than a turret right now, but he's taking decent poke. There's the Lord Dominic's. That's going to do a lot of damage.
Decent poke from the Ezreal. Special blocking a Nidalee Javelin. As ult used, only clips Special. Chris puts the shield back up.
Oh, and Seraph going mid.
Seraph is pushing mid and very smart by TDK to try to split this game up a little bit here. Again, their team is very good at running fast and killing turrets here. And it will mean Keen has to walk back to mid to defend this. Again, TDK also have a lot of poke here. They have the Corki and the Ezreal, so playing this sort of protracted siege scenario is good for them. Chris, though, home guards in, finds Mishu, but a damage, ulti pop, flashes in, Police, QSS is out, Special back at the front line. Here comes the burst damage, Seraph caught out, and Seraph goes down. And here's the re-engage, OQ getting shunked so dangerously low. Bishu's done up as well, a double kill for Police. Make that a third as the team is just falling apart now. TDK could not stand up for long enough. They had to posture for Dragon 5. They couldn't defend the battle.
And you can see Chris still near full HP. Shrimp still near full HP. And Apex, they might win the game off this push. I think they are going to.
Well, Chris can take the turret forever. They're going to send Keen to recall back. He can always TP back in with the home guard buff here. And let's see what Apex goes for exactly. 45 seconds on Kez and Ty, and here's the minion wave. This should be the attempt for the Nexus. 5 versus 2. That's the right call. Here comes Apex. Good teleport. Tanks up all the turret shots for Keen, and he's going to go in and push Apex down. Sorry, push Kez down. Push into the base. This will be the game. Finally, 49 minutes in. On to the Nexus they go. Chris taking up in the front line, and there's the game. 49 minutes, only 8 kills. Apex takes game 1 over TDK.
When you have a mid-game power spike team and you don't push it, then this is what happens to your team. The Kassadin's going to outscale. The tanks are going to become so tanky that you don't have enough item slots to actually have enough resistances for Kassadin, have enough damage for police, and then have enough penetration to deal with these tanks. So that becomes a huge dilemma for all these AD carries, and you didn't push it far enough, early enough, and they ended up giving too many dragons up when they had actually a stronger comp at that point in the game.
Totally agree, and this is sort of continuing my trend of, in North America, seeing Quinn against tank top and doing nothing. Now, after I made all those comments, like casting NALCS last weekend, I got a bunch of tweets saying, oh, but it's working really well in Korea, and LCK Quinn top is winning that matchup. That might be the case, but what we're seeing right now from Quinns in the leagues that I'm able to watch first party, they are not getting anything done in their mid games. They are sitting there playing a farm off, winning in CS, but when you're only buying raw AD on a marksman, by default, you fall off. Armor is easier to get and easier to stack and easier to multiply than magic resist. So as a function of how the game works, armor tanks are tankier than MR tanks. And if you're only buying AD and not getting crit and not getting attack speed and not getting a last whisper, you no longer kill those champions. And lo and behold, late game happened. The Quinn did nothing in the mid game. We didn't have a kill until 35 minutes in, and the champion is useless.
Yeah, he did less damage than any other carry on either team, so he did less damage than Chris as well. So Seraph just boasting 5,000 damage in that game.
In 50 minutes.
Yeah, in a 49-minute game.
100 damage per minute.
It's difficult. Quinn is very feast or famine. You have to snowball that lane, but when it's a double lane swap and then everybody gets 4 turrets, you sit there going, well, now he's got so much armor, I can't deal with him. He's got Glacial Shroud Chain Vest, and I'm still working towards my Yomus. So it becomes a big problem where you can no longer duel the person across the lane from you. When you're up against Nautilus, levels 1 through 5 are very important for Quinn. You have to bully him out of lane and make sure that you're ahead of him by at least like 300 gold and items, get a longsword over him, and then stay ahead of the curve. But he wasn't able to do that because it was a lane swap onto him. So Apex made the right choice in calling that lane swap, having a special invade, putting them behind a little bit in time, and then forcing it to be one of those lane swaps where people keep pushing.
Yeah.
Because sometimes you can actually stop that.
I think honestly this game was in TDK's hands, because when both tier 1 and 2 turrets are down, there is so much time you can leave your lane without missing anything. Nautilus was not going to kill an inhibitor turret. You have an Alistair and a Quinn. You can dive a mid lane turret for sure whenever you want, and that never happened. Bishu roll swap to support, was the only engaged tool on his team, literally never went in. Seraph couldn't split push down on Nautilus because you can't via the class matchup, and TDK just sat there, Apex saying, well, at 50 minutes we win for sure, so we'll wait.
Yes, Bishu really didn't engage at all, but he did engage one time. It was that very, very end point when Chris was coming in. He had to make a play. I think we have a replay here as well of that final fight. Police QSS's the knockup and flashes away, because you can QSS knockups, and you're going to see it right here. Boom, flash, boom. Immediately, he QSS's it. You QSS knockups, you flash. You're still stunned, though, but you need a movement ability to regain control. So Police outplays that, and now TDK had walked too far forward, banking on the fact that Police was going to get headbutted into the team to pick him up. So that was really good game knowledge right there, because not everybody knows that you can QSS those knockups, and then you need a movement ability to get out, and flash does count. Yep,
so that worked out well. If I want to keep on the itemization point, this is a game that also TDK could have played DPS check. They could have played raid boss status, and it's like everyone buys Infinity Edge, everyone buys a Hurricane because it's a 4 melee comp. Literally, Hurricane is the best Z item in the game in this situation. And you sit there and be like, Bishu, keep us alive. We're going to out DPS that comp, because you can, but the builds weren't that way. They built, they built to the champion strengths, right? You build Bursty for this, split push Quinn to try to flank in and make things happen, but that never worked out. So, the plan just really never came together for TDK. you know, like it's why I never think that like games with no kills in 30 minutes are ever well played, because one of those teams will get outscaled and miss their opportunity if that happens, and that was TDK.
Yeah, they missed those opportunities. They had power spikes over them, the Trinity Force, the Iceborne Gauntlet, the Muramana, which is just an enormous amount of gold burst in terms of combat stats and how much damage you'll be dealing, and they didn't push that. They didn't force that issue enough, and then they just let the Kassadin have a free game.
Totally agree. And props to Apex for getting huge, bursting people with Kassadin, Rek'Sai, and Nautilus engaged, and it worked out. So, guys, we're going to take a quick break. When we return, it's round 2 between Apex and Team Dragon Knights, so don't go anywhere. You don't want to miss it. Here comes the play. Here comes everybody. The Nautilus knockup comes in. It finds Ty. There's the burst, and there's first blood. Flashes in. Police QSS is out. Special back in the front line. Here comes the burst damage. Seraph caught out, and Seraph goes down. 49 minutes in. On to the next as they go. Chris taking up in the front line. And there's the game.